Welcome to Used Car News Podcast. Used Car News is your top source for fast and reliable news that car dealers can rely on for this evolving industry. Here are this month's top stories. Industry experts discuss imports, tariffs, EVs. NAAA honors industry pioneers, Hall of Famer. Used vehicle sales show modest strength as supply dips. But first, we'll hear from Bill Neylon, President and CEO of Taxmax.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Used Car News Podcast. I'm your host, Jeff Ballant. I'm managing editor of Used Car News, and this month's guest is kind of an old friend, a guy we've seen throughout the conferences over 2 decades now, and he's a friend to independents and buy here, pay here dealers, amongst other dealers. And today's guest is Bill Neylon, President and CEO of Taxmax out of Tampa, Florida. Welcome, Bill.
Thanks, Jeff. Thanks for having me.
Oh, thanks for being here. It's funny, Bill. I for some reason, I thought we might have done a podcast. We've interviewed you so many times over the years, so it's good to do it this way. Just before we get started on the interview, tell us a little bit, just briefly, of what you do, and then we'll get back into letting dealers know about what you offer for them.
Yeah, so we're about to enter our 31st tax season.
And basically, wow.
I know, right? I'm showing my age. We've worked with dealers for 31 years. Can you believe it?
Wow.
So what we do is we allow a dealership, in short, just to convert a customer's either last pay stub or W-2 into either a down payment or a future down payment that they can use to sell a car now, whether it's October, November, December, or January, February, and March.
Excellent. Yeah, wow, you're right. You're like right along with us. That's why we're so familiar. We've been around the same amount of time. That's great. Excellent, Bill. So I got you a few questions here. And again, we've got a lot of stuff going on right now, not just in the car business, but in the economy as itself. So in the passage of we're going to start with the passage chronologically, the big, beautiful bill. For you and what you guys do, was there anything in there that jumped out at you that in terms of affects your clients or your dealers or who you work with?
Yeah, so there's a lot of opportunities for dealers to capitalize on this tax season. I'm telling people this is going to be the biggest tax season since COVID.
Whoa, that's big.
No, it's going to be really big. And I'm going to basically spill a secret that no one's talking about just for your listeners.
Oh, we like that, yeah.
But the big, beautiful bill, basically, they've increased the standard deduction. If you're over 65, there'll be an extra $6,000 added to the standard deduction. So that alone will increase the refunds.
Wow, yeah.
The child tax credit has been increased from $2,000 to $2,200 per child. They've increased the earned income credit. It's now indexed for inflation, so every year that will continue to go up. But now, for the first time, the maximum earned income credit has exceeded $8,000. It's now $8,046.
Wow, that seems huge there.
Yeah. So now if you have kids, and here's the other thing, they've expanded the income amount too. So if you make just under $70,000 and you have some children, you're eligible for the earned income credit. So it's like a bell curve. Obviously, at the top of the curve is the $8,046. But still, considering you make $66,000 a year with kids, you're getting some earned income credit, $2,200 per child. Your tax rate went down because the standard deduction has increased. But now let's get into the real, the things that people are talking about. It's the no tax on tips, up to $25,000. No tax on overtime, up to $12,500. So it's going to lead to really huge refunds.
Yeah, when I think about you guys dealing with buy here, pay here customers, say the single mom with kids who might be working as a waitress or a tip-filled job, that's a monster thing.
And it's not just buy here, pay here dealers. We deal with retail dealers as well. And
I got you. I'm saying that specific type of purchaser, customer.
No, I agree. But people think of the buy here, pay here customer as someone making $30,000 and less. But now we've got these tax law changes that are going to affect people who make $70,000 and less.
Okay, excellent.
So yeah, I was talking to a dealer and they're like, well, our customers have better credit than others. I'm like, well, the tax laws aren't based on your credits, based on their income. So I'm like, well, what's your demographics of your customer? And like, well, they make $55,000 a year on average. I'm like, they're still in that window where they can get a $5,000 to $10,000 refund.
Yeah, that's humongous. Wow, that's great.
Should I drop the big secret right now, or
please?
Okay. So this is what no one's talking about. So they're talking about no tax on tips. They're talking about no tax on overtime, but they have not adjusted the payroll tax tables. So no one's talking about this. So if you have someone that you're paying overtime to, so let's say it's the $12,500, overtime and bonuses are taxed at a higher rate for federal tax withholdings out of your payroll. So they're still taking taxes out of that $12,500 in overtime. So they've got an extra $2,500 taken out of their paychecks that will now be on their W-2, that they're going to get all of that back.
Whoa, that is huge.
Yes.
Why do you think nobody's talking about that? Is it just it's such a big change, nobody's paying attention to it, or they're not planning for it?
I just think it's just one of those things that it's not like a direct correlation, right? So they made the tax law change and people just automatically think that payroll companies made the adjustments in the withholdings, and they have not.
Oh, okay. So, okay, cool.
Especially if, same thing. Doesn't matter if you're a retail dealer or buy here, pay here dealer. If you have a customer who makes $50,000 a year, of that $50,000, $12,000 was overtime and $20,000 was tips. They're getting an extra $5,000 added on in addition to the child tax credit for the earned income credit. Right. So it is very possible that we're going to see refunds as high as $10,000 to $15,000 or even $7,000. It's very possible that someone can make $35,000 to $40,000, have 3 kids, have overtime, and make tips, and the refund's almost $20,000.
That's insane. That's utterly insane. Okay. And I know that I've always been surprised, even through the years, even 10 years ago, when you talk about what tax return is, say for a single mom with 2 or 3 kids, like it just blows my mind. I just never understood it. It's just crazy. So you're right. It does offer opportunity. Obviously, you got to take advantage of it when the iron's hot. And we'll get to that as we get through the interview. Now, What's happening now because of the shutdown? As of right now, again, we're recording this at the end of October. So as of right now, as the time of this recording, the shutdown has not ended. Does that do anything for your dealers? Obviously, there's got to be a concern for dealers and their customers and making payments and the whole thing.
Yeah, so if I was a dealer, this is definitely the time to get a tax season partner. And I'm not here to sell Taxmax. I'm just here to say, look, there's a lot of uncertainty right now. The certainty is that these people are going to get huge refunds. You want a strategy to capitalize on the refunds. But the strategy is going to be with the government shutdown is we don't know when the government's going to open. So just because, let's say the government opens in a week, the IRS has to program all of these tax law changes that we've been talking about, right? No tax on tips, no tax on overtime. How are they going to incorporate this on the tax return and on the W-2 itself? So it's very possible that the IRS opens later than usual, and also very possible that refunds may not come out until the end of March instead of end of February. So having a tax season partner will also keep them in line with the breaking news that's going on when the IRS is going to open and release money. Now, the good news here with Taxmax is that we have our banking partner, and we offer a refund advance up to $7,000 the same day. Our banking partner has told us if the IRS doesn't even open until April, we will start advancing money as early as January the 2nd. So for us, it's business as usual. So it's very important to make sure dealers capitalize on that.
Yeah, that's a great point. That's a great point that to remember that would give you a little bit more ease as a dealer, also promoting for your customers that they can, despite these things, that the money's coming. And again, it's great they have a bank partner that understands these things. I mean, not everybody's going to be able to do that.
In response to what you just said, too, I always tell people, people say, oh, there is no tax season. Tax season's dead.
Right, always, yes.
Right? End of February, people come like it's almost like a tsunami wave. It just smashing through the doors, or all the people who get their tax refunds and want to buy a car. Those are the people that I say that a dealership has failed to promote and advertise to tell them they could have bought a car in January with their W-2 and they didn't have to wait for the IRS. So our dealers, especially Buy Here, Pay Here has 3 tax seasons. Buy Here, Pay Here can start selling cars in October, November, December. Then they can start getting refund advances from customers in January, February, and March. And then when the wave of customers come in that they missed and weren't able to promote to, the 3rd tax season is going to be the people kicking the doors down when they actually get the IRS money in their hands.
That's great. That's a great point. That's excellent. And it is. It always is like that. I mean, everybody wants to know what the what can they do, and it's always the last second. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you got to plan, and got to plan now.
Competition is fierce in the used car arena, so how can you ensure that your pre-owned inventory stands above the rest? Success starts with the quality of your leads. Auto Trader for Independents offers products that help drive high-quality leads for independent dealers like you.
The wholesale auto auction market is shifting, and a panel of experts at last month's World Remarketing Convention dug into big factors: imports, lease returns, and EVs. David Pendergraft, COO of McConkey Auction Group, highlighted Canada's role in the used car pipeline. Every year, 350 to 400,000 vehicles cross the border, mostly from British Columbia, Alberta, Toronto, and Montreal. These cars flood U.S. auction lanes, especially in the West: Montana, Idaho, Salt Lake City, and Denver. Why? It's cheaper to buy in Canada and ship south, even with a 2.5% brokerage fee and a 30-day compliance process. But, as Pendergraft noted, the market can change a lot in 30 days. Tariffs? They're still a factor, though trade deals have softened the blow. NADA economist Patrick Manzi warned that new car prices could jump $3,800 by 2026 and $4,600 by 2027 if costs fully pass through. Yet, oddly enough, new car sales haven't slowed. Leasing, however, is another story. With rates below 20%, fewer lease returns are hitting auction lanes. But EVs? That's a different game. Jeremy Robb, Manheim's lead economist, said EV lease returns are climbing from 4% of the market in 2025 to 16% by 2027. This EV journey is just getting started, Robb said, calling it an exciting shift for the used car market. Big changes ahead, no doubt. The National Auto Auction Association celebrated its legends and trailblazers last month at the World Remarketing Convention, honoring industry pioneers and Hall of Fame inductees who've shaped the business in ways big and small. Bob McConkey, president of McConkey Auction Group, introduced the Industry Pioneer Award winners, Mike Breaux and Henry Stanley. Breaux, a quiet leader who never sought the spotlight, spent decades in the auction world, from GE to Manheim to Auto IMS, always focused on making life better for employees and customers. Stanley's story? Pure grit. From auction school to selling cars in Columbus, Ohio, to building the Carolina Auto Auction into the Southeast's largest independent auction, his 5-decade career left a massive legacy. Even after losing his vocal cords to cancer, Stanley launched a charity fundraiser that's raised over $1 million for research. The Hall of Fame spotlight shone on Pierre Pons, a man who's done it all: executive roles, founding TPC Management, and creating Auction Academy to train the next generation. "This man defines legacy," said Chad Bailey, who presented the award. Pons reflected on his journey from starting a business on borrowed money to building a career rooted in relationships. The night also honored other contributors, including Tommy Rogers and Nate Simonson, for their service to the industry. It was a celebration of hard work, resilience, and the people who've made the auction world what it is today. The used car market is holding strong as we head into fall, according to Cox Automotive's Q3 Industry Insights report. Demand? Still solid. Sales are up 4.1% year-to-date, with inventory sitting at 2.2 million units, up 4.5% from last year. Days supply has improved too, now at 44.3 days, which is right around historic norms. Nearly new vehicles, 3 years old, are trading at a 4.3% premium, but overall market prices are flat. Why? Pandemic-era production shortages are easing, and younger inventory is finally showing up at auctions. "We're nearing the end of those shortages," said Jonathan Gregory, Cox's senior manager of economic insights. Wholesale values have been a roller coaster. A surge in late March pushed prices well above 2024 levels, driven by tight supply and aggressive dealer bidding. While prices have dipped seasonally since April, they're still higher than usual for this time of year, 3.6 points above 2024 to be exact. Lease returns are shifting too. EVs are taking a bigger slice of the pie thanks to federal incentives. By 2027, EVs will make up 16% of lease returns, while ICE vehicles will drop to 72%. This means more EVs for used buyers, but fewer gas-powered cars, which tend to hold their value better. Cox also adjusted its forecast. New vehicle sales are now expected to hit 15.8 to 16.4 million, while used sales could reach 38.5 million, higher than originally predicted.
Competition is fierce in the used car arena, so how can you ensure that your pre-owned inventory stands above the rest? Success starts with the quality of your leads. Auto Trader for Independents offers products that help drive high-quality leads for independent dealers like you.
Now, the other thing I want to ask you about is what you're seeing, and I know, breakdown, you do all types of dealers, but percentage-wise, what percentage of your dealers are independent to franchise to buy here, pay here?
So we probably have maybe 10% franchise, 90% independents. And of the independents, we probably have, of that 90% group, I'd say probably 65% buy here, pay here, and 35% retail.
What are you seeing on the buy here, pay here side? Obviously, inventory is the issue with everybody, but and on the used car side, obviously that raises prices. What are you seeing in terms of inventory and how that affects how dealers should manage, say, tax season? In the old days, dealers would be buying and stocking up in November. I don't know if you could possibly do that because now they're trying to buy cars all the time when they can find them.
The biggest challenge I'm hearing from inventory is the recon and recon process.
Oh, yeah.
I'm hearing that a lot of dealers are able to find inventory and get inventory, but the time to line might be 30 to 60 days as opposed to, 2 to 3 weeks in the past.
Wow.
I don't know peeling back the onion, what that reason is. I don't know if it's staffing or if it's getting the right parts.
Yeah.
Exact. And parts are expensive. So maybe sourcing parts from the right area for the right dollar amount, but maybe it's taking longer to get the parts in-house. So what I'm hearing out on the street is that inventory is not exactly the problem directly, but it's the recon process is the part that's delaying them up, and it's expensive and taking them a long time to get to the front line.
And so, have you seen in the last few years, and kind of dovetail into something else? 10 years ago, pre-COVID, again, there's inventory you're getting it all early and everything. Now it seems like you try to get the inventory when you can. How's that affect in terms of preparing for tax season? Because it used to be, buy here, pay here, they do 90% of their business, between January and March. For you guys, what do you see in terms of how dealers are prepping inventories? Is it just a matter of they're buying it when they can and holding, just trying to build it up as they can, as opposed to, you can't just go buy it. There's not enough inventory to just go in and buy it all at once. Plus, everything's more expensive.
So there's a couple things in that question. So number one, you got to buy your inventory now. I mean, it's about to be November, right? And if you're recon, so as a dealer, you need to really look at, and be honest with yourself. What is my recon process timeline? If I buy a car in November, is it taking me 30 days? Do I need to start buying now if my plans to sell all these cars in January, February? And the other thing too is, if I plan to increase my business 50% just during tax season, I'm going to use the number of 100, right? If I normally sell 100 units between October, November, December, but I anticipate to sell 150 units in January, February, and March, that's an extra 150 units. If you're already behind in your recon process, how are you going to get that extra 150 units purchased and through your recon process? So if your recon process is taking 30 days with that 100 cars a month, to get to 150 cars a month, is your recon process now 60 days. So that means if your recon process is 60 days to get this, push or bulk of inventory, and it's November 1st, I'm almost already too late.
Yes, I got you.
And I'm not here to bash dealers, but dealers are very in the moment thinking.
Yes.
A lot of dealers say, okay, tax season in January, call me January the 10th. I'm like, oh my gosh. No, I know, right?
I feel that. Colleen, my publisher's probably nodding her head at me right now. So yeah, I got you.
So dealers really need to be on top of tax season today. You got to get a tax season partner today, figure out what your game plan is, and then put that game plan into production, so to speak. And that starts with inventory. And then it's not, like you said, it's not just buying the car. It's also basically getting that car reconned and ready to go, polished up on the lot, January the 2nd, ready to go.
This is good. This is a good kick in the pants that we all need, especially the dealers at this time of year. And of course, with all the other stuff going on, it's easy to be distracted. But you're right. Let me ask you another thing. Obviously, we're talking just the day after the Fed looks like they lowered the interest rate another quarter point.
Yep.
Obviously, not as much as some wanted, but still, it's a knockdown. Does that have? Is that like an effect that doesn't happen? Is that a lagging effect, or how does that work for you guys when you're looking at interest rates?
So it's kind of not directly affecting Taxmax, but I think it does help the dealers and the dealer customer. Right. So the Fed lowered the rates by 25 basis points, but what the Fed is talking about, and a lot of economists are talking about, is because this big tax season is coming, they've been very cautious not to lower rates too fast, because with the big, beautiful bill, the economists have estimated an additional, on top of what tax season already is, these refunds, in addition to, with all these tax law changes, an extra $60 billion is going to be infused into the economy in Q1.
Okay. Yeah, that's a great point. Tax
season already is a huge push, but in addition to the huge push, 60 billion more. So that alone is going to be inflationary. It's going to be a temporary inflationary blip, but the Fed's being very cautious about not lowering too fast, because there's going to be some inflation effects in Q1 with people having all this money. So now with finance rates coming down, it's obviously the interest rates coming down on the dealers' credit lines. Some dealers may pass along to consumers. I'm not sure. So that may help consumers a little bit, but it's definitely going to help dealers paying less interest. But if you have a dealership that is paying 25 basis less on their credit line, and these credit lines are in the millions of dollars,
right?
If they can get larger down payments, then they're basically setting themselves up structurally to where they can kind of deleverage. We have a lot of dealers call us every day and say, Bill, my main goal this year, I haven't used Taxmax in a while, but I need Taxmax because I need to deleverage. I need to basically get my credit line into a place that I can sleep at night.
Yeah.
So my recommendation for dealers is that if you have a consumer who's getting a $15,000 refund, wouldn't the dealer like to have that refund in their hand? Only because they know how much. So for example, Jeff, you're the customer. I know that Jeff's getting $15,000 back. Right. So I'm going to say, Jeff, how about we put $4,000 down on this vehicle? And you say, well, how about $3,700? Deal signed, blah, blah, blah. We'll use Colleen as another customer. She's getting $15,000 back. She goes down the street to H&R Block and she gets her $15,000. She comes onto my lot and tells me she only has $500 to put down. Right. Now, me as the dealer, I'm going to try and get her up to $700, $750. All right. She says, I'll settle at $700. Well, that's a $3,000 difference.
Yes.
Right? The dealer got more money from you, Jeff, because they knew how much they had to bargain with and how much to negotiate with. So imagine if during tax time, January and February, when you have now 150 units instead of 100 units, you're getting $3,000 more down per car because you have the knowledge of how much they have to spend with you.
Yes. It is funny, like you said, deleveraging is so huge because we do know, especially on the finance side, I'm talking about like floor planning or just the bank side, issuing lines of credit. We all know they kind of go in herds. Somebody bails out and then they all bail out, or somebody jumps in and then they all jump in. And you're right. You don't want to. I've talked to so many dealers where it doesn't matter how good you are. It doesn't matter how safe your deals are, how good your record is. If the bank decides to pull, the bank's going to pull.
100%. And that's what dealers are scared of right now. And they're wanting to deleverage. So imagine, right? I sell 100 cars a month. Now I got to go to 150. I had to spend a lot of money to get that extra 50 units for January, an extra 50 for February. So getting that $3,000 more down payment per car, it also allows the dealer to structure the deal with the consumer for buy here, pay here in a situation where they can shrink the term. So they're collecting more money faster. The other thing I do recommend, though, is that put the customer in a position where I'm not saying lower their payment totally, but maybe instead of $500 a month, you get to $460 a month. So you can shrink the term, but also give a little bit of relief to the consumers. One thing I'm hearing from dealers is that consumers are really, really strapped.
Yeah.
Barely being able to make these car payments. So a larger down payment will help shrink the term, but also maybe give a little bit more cushion to these consumers so they can make these payments.
That's a great point. That's a great point. And that's a good time to move into what you guys do. Now, I remember back in the day, you guys had like physical people going in there and doing people's tax returns. And boy, has that changed. And then there was the anticipatory refunds. Now, I mean, there's so much stuff that you guys have advanced so far from that. Tell us what you guys are doing this year. I mean, what types of things are you doing? And what is it now that makes your job easier?
So the cool thing is that we now make the dealer's job easier. So last year was our 30th anniversary. And what we wanted to do was look at our product and say, look, if we were to start over today, how would we make Taxmax today? So we talked to hundreds of our dealers. We have over 2,000 dealers nationwide using our program. We talked to a bunch of strategic players and say, look, ask them questions. What would you do? So there's 4 parts of our program. There's our Q1 file and drive program. There's our fourth quarter program. There's our collections program. And then new starting this year is our tax season consulting groups. So we've improved all 4. So on the file and drive, you now just put a banner ad on the dealership's website and the consumer pretty much files through the Taxmax app directly with Taxmax. But new this year is we actually send the lead to the dealer CRM. So let's say, Jeff, I'm going to keep using you as the example.
Yeah.
You go to ABC Auto Sales and you say, oh, wow, I can use my W-2 as a down payment. You click on the banner ad. You're filing a tax return with Taxmax directly with a Taxmax tax professional. The same time, a lead kicks off to the dealership that, hey, Jeff has started a Taxmax file and drive application. The dealership reaches out to you to basically do what they do best, right? They want to schedule an appointment with you, get you qualified. They get you into the dealership the same day. While all of this is going on, your refund is processing and your refund advance is processing. By the time you get to the dealership for your appointment, your refund advance is already at the dealership. So the dealer says, wow, Jeff, I have $5,000 in my hands for Jeff. Well, let's do a deal and try and get $4,000 of that $5,000 down and get him into the car that he wants, but also underwrite him to make sure, obviously, you fit the criteria of the sale.
Yeah, I think that's one of the things that's good with you guys is for dealers is the underwriting part that you said, that they have an idea of what they're dealing with. And also, the key is you got to, especially if it's a buy here payer. I know you do independence in general, but even if it's buy here payer, you always want to steer them to the car they can afford. And obviously, this gives you more information on that thing and maybe get them a better car than they thought they could get.
Yeah, and with the money down that the dealer needs, right? Not that the dealer's scraping to get by.
Right.
Colleen, who filed down the street and took the $5,000 and only put $500 in her pocket. So they're better deals. And if underwritten correctly, they have to make sure that they fit their normal underwriting criteria. If that's the case and you get $4,000 down, you're able to shrink the term, shrink the payment a little bit. And these customers, these are deals that are going to perform.
Yes.
Now with buy here payer, since you mentioned that, we have our fourth quarter program. We did a test pilot with a dealership group last year that had 6 locations. They did 245 fourth quarter deals, meaning they sold the car in October, November, December in anticipation of the refund coming in January, February. They scheduled a special tax season payment in the contract for March the 1st. Part of the process was in the estimator, our estimator will now ask the dealer, does this customer have a special tax season payment in the contract? If the answer is yes, Taxmax starts an email drip campaign introducing ourselves to the customer, saying, hey, congratulations on your new car. We're aware you have a special tax season payment based on your refund. We are Taxmax. We're here to help you during this tax season. Then every month we send them a tax tip reminder like, hey, new with the big, beautiful bill is no tax on tips. You're going to get more money in your return. And then in January, we email them a link specific that includes the dealership ID in it. So that way, when the refund goes, the refund goes to the dealership. We send this link to the customers. The dealer's still doing what they do on the collection side, but we're working it from the tax side. And we say, hey, use this link, get a free estimate on your tax return. Well, then we actually pick up the phone and call the customer and say, hey, we're here with Taxmax. We just sent you an email with your special link to get a free estimate on your tax return. So then they do our statistics show if they did the free estimate, 96% of the time it filed. So everything we do is about statistics and data. Yeah, it's all compliant. So if the 240, then the other new thing we do this year is that we have a secure close Taxmax video.
Okay.
We've had it for a while, but before the dealer had to turn their screen around and show it to them. Now, while they're, I know I'm selling you the car, Jeff. We already know we got the down payment. We've got your special tax season payment set up. During that downtime, the dealer can text the 2-minute video now to the customer's phone. So while the customer's sitting in the office waiting to get the keys, they can watch the secure close video, which explains that they have a special tax season payment, the benefits to them, that it's saving them money, saving them interest, and then the solutions on how to make the payment.
And so for people to understand, this is a compliance issue where now the dealer can show the customer saw this video, knows everything in the video, and so that it shows that they're complying with the laws they have to do. And the dealer, the customer can't say, oh, I didn't know this or I didn't know that.
Correct. And that's what this is all about. Between our email drip campaign and the secure close video, it creates awareness. The biggest thing that customers want to say is, I was not aware of that payment.
Yes.
So it solves all of that problem. So with the test pilot we did last year, the dealer set up 245 special tax season payments. He collected 241 of the 245 with a 98% collection percentage.
Oh, that's great.
That's it. It's almost crazy. I wouldn't quote that as to be what we anticipate because it's way too high.
Yeah.
But it's incredible.
And of course, it depends on the dealer and all that type of stuff and how they operate, for sure.
100%. The new thing we're doing on collections is that basically we partnered with BlitzPay. With BlitzPay now, you can run your audience, what we call them. You have 6 collections buckets. So in your DMS, for example, your collections bucket may be past due customers.
Right.
You run your report with your DMS. You import your list of past due customers in your texting portal and email portal. And now you can email and text these customers stating that, hey, we have a solution to get you current on your tax return. We partner with Taxmax. Click on this link to get your free estimate with Taxmax.
Ah, okay.
And then they file with us. And the thing is, whether you email or text 2 people or 2,000 people, it's all with a push of a button now. So you can.
This is where you're actually going to acquire a customer who maybe is already in a deal with the dealer, correct? I mean, has a contract with the dealer, but you can get a customer to where you say they can make an extra payment, or
You create the audience, right? Yeah. Do you want a principal payment? You create that audience. Do you want these are past due customers, or these are a third bucket, customers who have a special tax season payment.
Very good.
Repair notes, recovery, repos. You create all the different audiences. We have all the texting templates that says exactly what you need to do, and then whether you text 200 or 2,000, you're collecting them all with a push of a button.
What's your new program this year?
So new this year is our 4th part of the Taxmax program is our tax season consulting groups.
Okay.
We have a group for retail, which starts on December the 2nd, and our Buy Here, Pay Here groups launch next week on Tuesday, November the 4th.
Oh, excellent.
It'll be every Tuesday, noon Eastern time, that's actually be hosted by me. And this is where I'm going to teach every dealer what they need to be doing this week and this month. I'm going to be telling what they should be doing in collections, what they should be doing for advertising, what they should be doing for sales. And also we'll be talking about the government shutdown, what they should be doing, and news that they need to know about that may alter the timing of the tax refund season.
Boy, that is a great help. I think that's excellent. Any type of new information like that, especially when it's current like that, when things are ongoing.
The biggest problem, and this came about from talking to our dealers, the biggest problem dealers have when they use the Taxmax program or any tax marketing program is that they sign up for it and then kind of the wheels fall off. Well, this guy doesn't work here anymore. So with these weekly consulting groups, I will be the glue that keeps their tax season together. And let's say, Jeff, you were the owner of the dealership and you said, Bill, I lost 3 GMs this week. Oh my gosh. And I'll say, Jeff, I'm going to reach out to you offline and we're going to throw resources at you and help your dealership and retrain these people and get them back on board. So the consulting groups isn't necessarily training on how to do each specific piece at a low level.
Right.
It's going to be about advertising strategies, collection strategies. We're going to talk about bonus structures, how to incentivize your people. And Jeff, you could say, Bill, I think you're full of crap. I want to talk to one of your successful dealers that is good at collecting past due accounts. I'll sit back and let my dealers chime in. So it's going to be like one large 20 group.
Yeah,
where they're going to be learning from people in real time.
I was just going to say, it sounds like a 20 group. Yeah, for sure.
I should have done this 30 years ago. I don't know why it took 31 years to figure this out, but
that's great. Boy, this is excellent. It's going to be interesting. It's going to, obviously, with so much stuff going on, I know that keeps you busy and everything, but I think this is good timing. So you're saying then this will be every Tuesday, these groups?
Every Tuesday. Yep.
Okay. So again, folks, in November, it'll be the buy here, pay here starting. In December will be the retail dealer. So definitely, obviously, reach out to Taxmax. How would they reach out to you, Bill, your site or your?
They can go to our website at taxmax.com, and there is a contact us button. They can click that and send us an email. If they also hover under, there's a car dealer section, and they hover over that. They can click on overview, and they can select a demo with us. That doesn't mean you want a demo of our program. Let's just have a conversation. This is going to be the biggest tax season since COVID. So if you were a dealer and you missed out on those $20,000 tax refund checks in 2001 and 2002, and you're like, man, I really wish I did something, well, get off your keister and do something this year. Because
go ahead, I'm sorry.
It's only going to come once. It's fast. It's going to be fast and furious. If you miss it, you got to wait a whole nother year. And the other thing I want to say is, like we talked about earlier, Jeff, that you kind of pulled it out of me, that dealers really need to prepare now with their inventory and take a real look at their business structure and be honest with themselves.
Yes.
You know, if my recon process is 45 days, is it 60 days? I got to do the math to buy these extra cars and get them on the lot. If you wait too long, you're going to miss it. And you may be stuck with too much inventory too.
Okay, good. Excellent. Hey, are you guys doing any conferences or anything coming up before the end of the year?
We are going to the NIDA Buy Here, Pay Here forum in Nashville.
In November, right? Yeah, that's
so we will be there. In December, I believe it's December the 10th, Luke Godwin is hosting a collections forum. And Taxmax and BlitzPay are going to be actually there and demo our new partnership. How to collect all these 6 different buckets with literally you can have 1 million customers or 2 customers, and you can collect them all in the same amount of time using this strategy, which is going to be really cool. And then obviously Buy Here, Pay Here United will be at Caesar's Palace again in April. And with everything going on with Tricolor and just all the noise in the business, like you said, there's a lot of finance companies really scrutinizing their dealers. There's going to be real problems, but we'll have real solutions at Buy Here, Pay Here United to help every dealer out and solve these recon problems, financing problems, inventory problems, stuff like that.
Boy, that's fantastic, Bill Neylon. I appreciate it. Bill Neylon of Taxmax. Thanks a lot. You're always a wealth of information. Your sessions at all these conferences I've seen you at over the last few decades are always informative. And again, always things that the average person is not aware of, if they're not familiar with, if they're not active in tax season. And that's okay. Not everybody is. But if you are, and it sounds like what you said, if you're going to be active in tax season, this might be the year to do it.
And if you're looking to deleverage and maybe you don't want to be active during tax season, but you really need to be, because there's the one-shot deal, right? If you have customers that are a low balance customer, you can get a payoff and put them in a new car using their $15,000 tax refund. You can, there's so many things to collect money, right? Repair notes, make an offer, say, look, I'll settle this repair note for 60 cents on the dollar. Just pay me and let's get it off the books. So there's just ways to just collect cash.
Yes.
You got to do it. You just can't sit on the sides. And the way and I don't care if you use us or not, you just have to do something. I don't care what you do, but you got to do something. You're crazy if you do nothing. We talked to a dealer just a couple of days ago, said, I've been doing the same thing for 50 years. I don't want to do anything different. Well, the business is different.
Yeah, absolutely.
Technology. The car business is a technology business. It's not just selling a car. The cars have their own technology, but you've got GPS devices. Like I was talking to Iteron. They have such a technology solution. They've partnered with collections and finance companies.
For sure.
Payment processors, where these devices are collecting money for people. There's just so much, Buckeye. Buckeye has all these products that make you money. So, it's not just selling a car anymore. A dealer, if you can increase your gross by 10% here and 10% here and 10% from this other vendor.
That's massive.
I don't care who you use. You just got to use vendors and really find out how they can better your bottom line and keep you in business.
Excellent message, boy. I always enjoy talking to you, Bill. I always learn something. And again, dealers, this is the time. Listen, like he said, you don't have to use them, but this guy has a wealth of knowledge. Reach out to Taxmax, just ask him a few questions. And if you're going to buy here, pay or form for NIDA in Nashville this in November, check them out, or go into Luke Godwin's show. Just stop by their booth. They're at all these shows all the time, so you can't miss them. So, Bill Neylon, thank you so much, and thanks to Taxmax for spending this time with our podcast. This has been the Used Car News Podcast. This is Jeff Gallant saying have a good one.
Thanks for listening to Used Car News Podcast. Each month, we'll bring you fast and reliable news that car dealers can rely on for this evolving industry. For a free subscription of Used Car News, please go to usedcarnews.com. This podcast is a production of BG Ad Group. Make sure to share us on social media and like and follow wherever you get your podcasts.